right, so today we're very fortunate to have with us Bruce Belason. Bruce has been attending classes at the Wellesley Weston Lifetime Learning for about 23 years and has been president for the last 13. He joined after retiring from 36 years of working as a mechanical engineer for an aerospace company northwest of Boston. How exciting. So Bruce, welcome.
Thank you.
And tell us, what is Wellesley Weston Lifetime Learning?
Okay, let's give you the who, what, when, where, why, and how.
Perfect.
We offer non-credit courses for senior citizens. We were formed 46 years ago. I think we're the second oldest continuous in the country. We offer a range of courses. We have two 10-week semesters, each spring and each fall. We meet on Monday mornings. We have two one-hour class periods on Monday mornings. This spring semester will start in March 14th as a data point. We average about 200 to 250 registrants per semester. We generally offer about 10 courses per semester. We charge just $25 per semester, regardless of the number of courses. I'll just check in on my points here. There are no requirements to join. I know some lifetime learnings do have a requirement. And I would say we're an all-volunteer organization, if I didn't say that. And that includes especially the teachers, which is the heart of the soul of the program. And I think I'll say we work at it, but it also happens. I want to call it a community. And there's a lot of camaraderie because you have people that want to be there. There's no axe to grind, and they're just here together to learn together and learn each other as well. So I think that gives a summary.
Yeah, sounds great.
What we're about.
You know, sounds fun, actually.
It is.
and
right now, because of COVID, we're Zoom.
Right, virtual.
We normally meet in person, but obviously we cannot.
Right. Safety first.
Yeah.
Sounds good. So you've been taking classes for years, and then you've now taken over the president's job.
Yeah.
So tell us what inspired you and motivated you to take on the presidency and run this organization.
I joined because as an engineer, I saw subjects of interest to me, particularly history. I'm fascinated with history. And the first teacher I had, it turned out, became one of the best friends I made in my life. He knew the then president and secretary, so we all had lunch together. And one day they said, "Bruce, why don't you join the board?" I said, "What's involved?" And they said, 2 meetings a year. Right. When that president retired, I became secretary, and then I became president. More of a de facto thing.
Right.
But it's turned out to be a lot of fun, and I think, you know, as many of us find out, the more you put into something, the more you get out of it.
Right.
Being as president,
right. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
People a lot better.
Right. And I was going to ask you, is it really 2 meetings a year?
Excuse me?
Is it really 2 meetings a year?
Oh no, no. It's become a lot more than that. Actually, what happens is that we don't have a paid administrator, and at one time we had to reduce costs, so we had to cut out what help we had. And so I sort of become a de facto administrator as well.
Right.
And so yes, it's a lot more than 2 meetings a year.
So you obviously put in 100%. So you were talking about putting in and getting out as much as you put in, right? So clearly
you get a lot out of it.
Right.
The people are so fascinating.
Right.
So many different experiences in life that they have had, and you learn from them what they've been through. But they're still applying their talents and their time for making the organization function.
Right. And so tell us, how large is the market for senior education? That's
a great question. Now, I'm not a marketing person, but let me give you 3 examples to try and quantify that. When we were formed in 1976, and I was not around for that, but I've studied the history a little bit. There were very few lifetime learning organizations in the country. Now there's over 500. So that's one growth. Excuse me. Look at today. In Wellesley, according to the latest census, 15% of the population is defined as seniors. That's 4,400 people just in Wellesley. And by the way, we draw from not just Wellesley, but from 20 other surrounding communities. So there's a huge market out there. And we have now many lifetime learning organizations. You have a lot of the councils of agings offering courses, and retirement communities as well. If you look at the future, there was an article in the Washington Post recently that they said is the largest growing part of the education market for seniors. And in 1934, there are going to be more people defined as seniors than people 18 and under. So it's a huge market. It's growing. It's explosive. Those are some numbers to quantify it best I can.
Great. Great. And in your expert opinion, what are some of the benefits of lifetime learning?
Yeah, there's three categories of benefits, Rama. The first is obviously learning. I mean, that's self-explanatory. And I'm going to quote three aspects of the importance of learning. These are all from a slide presentation, by the way, that is on our website, a 3-minute slide presentation. John Dewey, who was a great educator in America. Education is not preparation for life. Education is life itself. Einstein, once you stop learning, you start dying. Michelangelo, at age 87, I am still learning. So I think those are just some testimonials to the importance of learning. Then there's the social aspect of it. And it took me a while to really realize the importance of that. Just to, I'd say, the camaraderie of people learning together. When we used to meet in person, I said we had 2 class hours, 10 to 11, 11:30 to 12:30. That intervening half hour, we had a complimentary coffee. That allowed socialization with the teachers, people within a class, people between classes. It was also a very good place to recruit new volunteers to help the organization. So the social aspect, and as you know, that's one of the cautions for people when they become seniors, is to continue to socialize. The most interesting benefit is medical. And there's a couple of recent studies, and I'm going to read from that because I want to quote properly.
Sure.
There's two studies. One is a combination of Mass General and Harvard Medical School. And they reported that seniors who reported high levels of intellectual stimulation throughout their lifetimes had a marked delay in the onset of memory problems, Alzheimer's, and other similar type problems. That's a pretty powerful statement. The second one I think is also strong. It's a joint Harvard-Princeton research on the connection between lifelong learning and health. Two conclusions. One, reading for just 6 minutes lowered participants' stress levels, slowed heart rates, and eased muscle tension. Number two, with respect to lowering stress, it enhances seniors' cardiovascular health, decreases blood pressure, reduces the risk of stroke or heart attack, boosts immunity, and lowers levels of depression. That's a big shopping list.
Yes, that is, yeah.
So our people sort of put together a little bit of a model to summarize that up. It's called learn, engage, interact, and enjoy. Learn is obvious. Engage and interact. Again, that's the social aspect. Enjoy. Enjoy everything. Enjoy learning. Enjoy the social benefits. Enjoy better health. Another way of saying it is, learn with your friends and be healthier.
Right.
I think that's a brief summary of what I've learned.
Right. Awesome. And what kind of courses are options for folks?
Okay, let me read the current list of courses. I'll say the following. We're totally at the mercy of what we can find for teachers who want to teach. We could talk a little bit more about that. That's the bottom line. Current courses is we have famous trials from a judge's perspective taught by a recently retired Superior Court judge. That's our star course. We have over 120 people enrolled in that course. That's a lecture course. We have another course of lectures on diverse topics. We invite authors, and we've had other retired judges talk. We have a poetry class. We have a German language class. Those are the 10 o'clock courses. At 11, we have American history through a cinematic lens. In other words, watch movies about American history and what you learn, and also comment on the cinematic quality. Bright moments of jazz and rock. That's a semi-professional musician. Populating the Americas, a scientific detective story. Stories of conflict as seen through a narrator's lens. That's a literature course. We have history of Western gunslingers. And a very interesting class called Writing Your Story, which is teaching people to write vignettes. And to demonstrate, 6 of the courses that I cited were our non-lectured courses. Demonstrate the social aspect. 3 of those classes continue on beyond the 10 weeks. On their own, they want to. They ask us if they can use our Zoom license. Sure, great. That to me exemplifies the spirit of the organization and the people. So, did I answer that question completely?
Oh, absolutely. And I think you have a minimal fee for registering and signing on. And is that for the entire series, the course series, or is that per class?
That's $25. It's a fee per semester. And that's for, basically, you can take 10-week courses at 10 o'clock and 10 weeks of courses at 11:30 for $25. Now, I might say, our fee right now, well, 2 things. We're much less than any other organization that I've ever looked at. Number 2, it's diminishing value now because we're not meeting in person. When we meet in person, we've got to pay rent. That can be very expensive. So we try to adjust. Our business model is simple. We look at our expenses and we divide by what we see as our anticipated registration, and that's what we charge.
Right. No, that sounds like a great opportunity for 10 classes for $25 is really hard to beat.
It's actually 20 classes if you go to 2.
Exactly. That's right. And what are your where do you get your teachers from? So where are your educators coming from?
Okay. Basically, anywhere we can find them. We have to be very opportunistic. And it's hard to predict where they'll come from. Sometimes somebody just sends a call or a letter in over the transom. They just say, hey, I'm interested in teaching a course about African literature, which we just had that last semester. Sometimes I can prevail upon an existing teacher to recommend a colleague. Sometimes one of our registrants will recommend somebody. So any various method. I tried once to inquire into one of the local colleges about retired teachers, and whatever, that didn't work out. It also requires a lot of effort. We need to find somebody. We are fortunate in that many of the teachers that we recruit stay with us. Once we do get a teacher, we work hard to keep that teacher, make that person happy. And as I say, so 6 of them have stayed with us for at least 10 years, 12 years. We don't have a big turnover of teachers. They're hard to find, but once you get a good one,
right?
And that's the secret, by the way, is get a good teacher. There's a lot of ex-teachers out there that like to continue. It's a matter of finding them.
Right.
Okay,
Great.
that's the best answer I could give you to that question.
No,
By the way, it's a crucial question because without teachers, we don't have a problem.
Yeah.
It's the absolute most important.
Right. So what are your average class sizes, especially now that you're virtual? I know you have that one class that has 120 people.
Yeah.
But aside from that, what are your average class sizes for courses?
Basically, right now there's one that is about 45, and then all the others are between about 10 and 20. Right. And in the past, we've had them as low as 4 or 5 students in a class. Right. Actually, interestingly, our music class now, which is jazz and rock, been taught by the same guy for over 10 or 15 years. He's a Wellesley resident. he started out with 2 in his class, and now it's up to about 30 or so. So it can vary quite a bit.
Right. That's amazing. And is the program only for Wellesley residents?
No, although we're called Wellesley Weston, and Wellesley is by far our biggest component, about 25%. No, we're open to all communities, and as I said, we draw from about 20 different communities, and that's counting all the parts of Newton as one community. You can draw a radius around Wellesley of about 15 miles, and we probably have somebody from almost every one of those communities, and some from farther away as well.
Awesome. Wow, that's
which also adds to diversity, as you know, it's all an important part of our culture today.
Right.
And so we have a diversity from people from various communities.
Wow, that sounds very successful. And so where do we go to get more information? And what's your website?
Yeah, the basic is the website, Rama, and it's www.llcourses.org. Other is the WWLL, meaning for Wellesley Weston Lifetime Learning. There we have course descriptions. We have registration capability. That's the primary method of registration. You can register right online. We have some information about lifetime learning, including the slideshow that I just said that was put together with the quotations from the Einstein, et cetera, and the medical benefits, and some other interesting background information on lifetime learning. We also have contact points. We have a phone number, we have an email address, and we have a postal address as well. But the website is designed to be the primary.
Fantastic. And I think you're gearing up for your semester of course openings starting at the end of February. Is that right?
March 14th.
March 14th.
Monday, March 14th. And I hope that some people listening that would be interested in coming.
Oh, absolutely. And what would you recommend? What's your hot new lovely class that you want everyone to consider taking starting March 14th?
Let me put it this way. The courts of famous trials at judges' perspective, it's must watching. It's not just legal facts. It's a judge's perspective. Somebody who's spent over 400 trials. He's a Wellesley resident, by the way. And one of the basic things he said is that, juries work. That's really a good thing to hear.
Right.
But he indicates what each trial, like Sacco and Benzetto, or the O.J. Simpson trial, each trial is taught or what precedents have come down in the legal community.
Right.
I think the answer to your question is depends on the interest of the person.
Right.
It really depends on that.
Awesome.
All the history classes are good classes. All of our teachers are pros.
Right.
It's all very, very informed.
Wonderful. Well, that sounds very, very exciting. Thank you for joining us today. Do you have anything else you'd like to add?
I think your list of questions was very thorough. I would just say, repeat our motto: learn, engage, interact, enjoy. Come try us.
Yeah.
Give us a try. That's really the message I have. It's awesome. A lot of fun.
Thank you for the shout out. This sounds very exciting. I'm sure the community would love to hear more about this and come try out the courses.
Rama, we really appreciate your giving us the time to talk. It's been a pleasure.
Absolutely. My pleasure.